Hello and welcome to Four Shots with Tony and Jeremy and Brandon and Zach today. Unfortunately, Jeremy had a emergency and he may be in later, but for now it is the three of us.
Got to deal with us.
You're gonna have to deal with us. I know you're all here for Jeremy, but you're gonna have to deal with me today. So what's happening?
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
So this episode is going to be kind of a special one. We got all kinds of cool stuff going on. In addition to the cool stuff we have going on, we're going to talk about, we have our first sponsor.
Ooh.
And it wasn't because Luliga, I know, but you should have called me because I wasn't there.
I will.
So we are corporately sponsored now.
Have we sold out? Wait, have we sold
No,
out?
because we don't get any money for it. We just
Okay.
we got some free booze.
I mean, I'm okay with selling out.
I mean, we got free booze, and
We did.
that's really all we need. But anyway, it wasn't, and it's not. And I must say that we're not going at we're only going after people that.
Well, you're having an Ellen DeGeneres moment here. You're getting called out.
Maybe you got the wrong number.
He did get a new phone, and maybe everybody doesn't have.
Because the other one was shitty.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Little Big, I'm texting you right now.
Yeah.
You're right, Tommy. Sell out every day of the week. Isn't that the goal for anybody doing anything? Is to sell out as quickly as possible?
Yeah, that's. I mean, Green Day did it. If Green Day can do it,
That makes it okay.
Yeah, that makes it fine. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the whiskey later, and we're actually going to be giving a bottle away.
What?
Yeah.
You are a madman. You're gonna give away a bottle of the whiskey we just got for free?
Yeah, it was free, so I have to give it away.
Oh my god!
In addition to that, in other news, we have these.
What? I gotta get you. You're done. Tony's being too generous.
Yes, so that is the 4 shots by Lost and Found that our Silent Ivy members are going to get a bundle of in next month's package if I get the stickers on top.
Oh,
yes. So, and then we're also going to be giving those away too. So check out our Patreon for information on that, because we're going to be picking. If you're our patron, then you're going to be getting a lot more entries to win this cool stuff. Which Brandon and I have to make. This is news to him, but he's gonna have to figure that out because fuck it, whatever. Anyway,
So figure it out.
I like learning what things I will do while live on the broadcast. That is always the ideal way to be communicated. These sorts of things, Tone.
let's do a shot.
Let's do first shot. Oh. You gonna do a shot, Zach?
I would love to, but I'm literally driving, and 3 sheriff cars just pulled out with their lights on. So I probably should not even be on my phone, but here we are.
I was going to say
driving.
Yeah, I mean,
literally, that's not figuratively. Sorry,
driving. You're literally driving. Okay.
It would make it probably okay if they pulled you over and you pointed to your phone and were like, "It's okay, I'm recording a podcast while driving, so I had to do the shot." Officer.
I'm sure they're down with that.
Sorry,
it looks like they're searching for some sort of criminal, so that could be bad too.
It might be you. Yeah, they might be looking for you. All right, Tom.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Shot number 1.
Oh fuck!
Oh, warm Tito's.
No, it wasn't in the freezer.
No, I forgot. I thought I had some from last night, but I drank it all.
Oh god.
It'll get easier.
So
anyway, I'm about to smoke one of the samples here.
Well, while you light that up, I just want to tell everybody listening, I've got it at the bottom of the screen for people who are watching, but for people who are listening to the recording at patreon.com/4shots, the number 4 shots. That is where you can subscribe, and a lot of these giveaways that Tony's talking about, the Lost and Found, the 4 shots cigar by Lost and Found that he is smoking right this second. Patreon is the doorway to those things. What is up? What's up, Nick? So if you want in on that stuff, you want more information and more access, that's the place to get on with us. We want to continue to kind of expand that as like a way for like Tony and Jeremy and sometimes myself, but I know you guys aren't really there for me, but mostly for Tony and Jeremy to like
That's not
be able
true,
to
Brandon.
Oh, Zach, we could just text each other though if you really want to hear from me. And if you want to be more connected to what they're doing, their projects, and just what's going on, Patreon is a way for that to kind of be. What's going on here? The Lido Club. Oh, Logan Humphreys says the Lido Club box was awesome. That's an endorsement that you can count on. Logan Humphreys, ladies and gentlemen.
The famous.
The
infamous.
4 shots famous. Well, Tony, what do you think? Should we do worst of the week?
Yeah, let's get into worst of the week. Oh, by the way, the cigar is, we'll talk about it more, but it's a Brazilian Habano wrapper, which you've probably never had. I guarantee you've never had it. So it's the shit, basically.
I'm kind of mad that I didn't just come to your house for tonight's episode and just set up shop like next to you or in the other room so that I could also smoke one, because I cannot smoke in my house. Otherwise,
you're gonna have to go to the Patreon for a cigar.
What?
Yeah, you're gonna have to go.
Wait, ladies and gentlemen, this is produced. I don't. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to subscribe to our own Patreon so that I can get in on one of these cigars. Yeah, that should have been a founder. I thought I was already a founder, but I guess I was mistaken. I guess that there's only the 6, and those 6 founders out there, they know who they are, and I am not one. But let us do. I'm having an existential crisis right now because oh, there it is. I couldn't find my video.
Work on a newspaper is people working as a team. At the copy desk, the editor selects the news and photos for an issue and plans the estimated space on a miniature newspaper page, sometimes called a dummy.
Worst of the week. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, worst of the week is when I read a few stories from the last week to Tony and Jeremy usually, but I'll read them to Tony and Zach tonight, and we decide who had the worst week. If they split their decision, we go to a quick poll in the chat, and we try to decide. The loser has to take the next or the extra shot. So let's go to our first story of the night. For those of you who once enjoyed your time at college, spring break was officially canceled by cities in Florida and other places across the country and internationally, and universities made it clear that there would be no break in the semester. However, that has not stopped students from all across the country from traveling and taking their laptops with them and going in droves down to Miami Beach. Those of you not following the news, it has been fucking chaos.
Robbie, I talked to Robbie while he was down there today. He said people are basically naked. He's like, I just saw a girl that had Band-Aids on her nipples, and that was it. That's a bathing suit. So apparently that's the new thing, which I think I'm going to start doing.
This is another one of those scenarios where I think this is a good worst of the week, and then very quickly I'm like, maybe this is a best of a week. I don't know.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound bad to me.
I do this. This happens more often than not, where I'm like, oh, this is a good worst of the week. And then like I read it and immediately it's like, no, Brand, this is pretty sweet.
That, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, why? I mean, everybody's so pent up, and
I know.
Kids generally don't give a shit. I mean, I guarantee you, if I was in college, I'd be on spring break.
Well,
it turns out my whole life is spring break.
Well, it is, but the police have used tactics like sonic cannons that are been used in warfare, like in the Iraq War and stuff, to try and disperse crowds, but to no avail. They have been completely overrun, and a state of emergency was actually declared in the city of Miami, which is insane to think that spring breakers.
Dude, I think Miami is always in a state of emergency.
Correct.
We should get Robbie on to talk. Tommy Tommy's like, look at, we got somebody who's trying to sniff around for an invite, but we got to go to the founders for that. Founders got to, yeah.
But I think the overwhelming yes is going to have it for Mr. Tommy Klein.
Well,
100%.
we'll see. We'll bring the vote to the floor. But let's go to our next story for worst of the week. This was my personal favorite. I know I shouldn't try to tip the vote scales here, but when I saw this story, it just completely blew my mind, and I thought it was hilarious and wild. The assistant Pennsylvania DA who was demoted for making DoorDash deliveries.
Why was he demoted? That's like hustle.
So,
look, side hustle. There we go.
There it is.
This one side hustle that did not pay off. A Pennsylvania prosecutor was demoted for making DoorDash food deliveries during his shift. Bucks County First Assistant District Attorney Greg Shore will be reassigned as a deputy district attorney and will earn a significant reduction in pay. This is what his salary was: $129,474. And
it's a nice round number.
And right, so 130 grand a year, and he's out there making DoorDash.
Well, because he had to get to 130.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
for
just
taxes.
can't comprehend why this guy had to be out there or felt the need. Like, in the rest of the article, it doesn't explain like his motive, other than he said that during the pandemic he had picked up a side job.
Your boy's here.
What's that?
Your boy's here.
My boy.
I bet he doesn't even know.
Oh my God! I thought I had shook him. I thought he wasn't following me no more. But he is here.
It'd be pretty hard to shake Marxist, so for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. Let me bring him back up here just for a second. For people who are listening, you got to look this guy up. Look this story up. I mean, if I was making 130,000, and listen, this guy makes like 100,000 more than me, so you do the math, Marxist. And I'm like, I don't have to be out there making DoorDash deliveries to make ends meet. What kind of crazy debt and lifestyle are you in? That's what I couldn't figure. Is like, is there some sort of like?
Maybe he's just like a hustler, maybe, because like I wouldn't do that shit.
I mean,
he wanted the DoorDash money to go to his hookers. That way, he wasn't using like city funds for his hookers.
Remember when Jerry Springer wrote a check for a hooker?
No, what?
Yeah.
You don't remember that? He was the mayor of Cincinnati, and he wrote a check for a hooker, and he got fired.
I did not know that story.
And then he started a shitty talk show like we have.
Makes a lot of sense now in retrospect. So we started off with the wild spring breakers destroying the city of Miami, running nipples out through the streets, attacking Robbie. And we've maybe the best of the week. And we've gone to
I can just see him down there being so cynical. I feel like he's sitting on a bench on Lincoln Road, just like judging everybody that walks by.
Just judging.
Yeah.
Not saying anything, just in his own mind judging them. And our last is the last story for this week is actually a follow-up to one of our first stories that we brought to the table. We're doing a little follow-up here. For those of you who follow us regularly, we discussed a story about a priest and two dominatrices who were arrested for having sex in a church on an altar. And at the time, we had asked, what could they be charged with? Like, these are consenting adults, and they were just having some fun. Maybe they were in an inappropriate place, but there wasn't a church service going on at the time. So what could they be charged with? Well, it turns out they have been charged with vandalism. A former Louisiana priest and two dominatrices were slapped with vandalism charges for having sex atop a church altar in September of last year. A report said Travis Clark, 37, and the two women were initially charged by police with obscenity following the alleged tryst last September inside St. Peter's and Paul Catholic Church in Pearl River, New Orleans. I guess this is just par for the course. Look at this guy. I mean, I got to hand it to him.
I'm just amazed that guy got laid.
I mean,
that's why.
Oh, wow. Those are some eyebrows. I mean, she has no eyebrows. She donated all the eyebrows.
That's very generous of her to donate her eyebrows
to her friend.
Her friend.
Well, you know, the church preaches charity.
Well, and she is a dominatrix. She may have not given him up willingly. She may have forced her to hand him over.
Black and white. Like they need like a ball with the chain on it.
What's this guy? Why does he not have? Look at they're in. This is sexism right here, ladies and gentlemen. They are
professionals.
Look, they are in their stripes, but our dude here is just like in a regular t-shirt. I mean,
that's actually what they were wearing when they were having sex.
Oh, they were wearing. I got you.
It was part of the ploy.
Yeah, part of the role play is what you're getting.
Got stuck in the dryer.
All right, so Zach, let's go to you first. Which do you think is the worst of the week?
My personal opinion is the last one with Priest, but only because it's the worst of the week because they got arrested for it.
Right.
And I don't feel like there was any vandalism involved. They just were looking for a charge.
All right. So I'm putting this in the chat. Zach for dominatrices. I spelled that wrong, but don't judge me. And Tony.
Yes.
There is. I misspelled it. I was going fast. What is your selection for the worst of the week?
Definitely the prison thing. The black and white dominatrix being charged. Like they're stretching to charge somebody for boning with vandalism. I just think that's a bad week for that guy. Like he probably lost his job as a minister.
For sure, excommunicated from the church.
But I guess it's better than children, right? Because that's generally
definitely 100%. We could say that this is an upgrade. 3 consenting adults, much better. So we have it, folks. The dominatrices return to the show. They are undefeated in worst of the week stories.
We should reach out to the priest, see if he wants to come out.
See if we could get the priest on the show. Oh my God, I'm gonna do
that.
Have
Up Top Chicken Box interview him.
Listen, we are gonna bring 4 shots brings people together. That is what we are about. That's what we're gonna do, and we are so behind. It's almost 20 minutes in, and we need to take another shot.
I agree.
Zach, you're not driving now. Can you take a shot?
Well, all I have is wine, so I could take shots of wine.
That's fine. We don't.
I mean, that's something. Logan approves. Logan approves of them as a guest. So, let us. While he's doing that, he's hunting around. Are you gonna have to open the bottle, Zach? Oh God, Tony, talk for him. We lost him.
No.
We almost had
it's
the
not
original 4-shot scene.
Wait. Oh, he went out again. Tony, what's he saying?
Check out this bottle of wine I got here. This is something that I'm going to hold in my armpit as I show it to you. It's called Termes. Termes wine. Must be Spanish. I'm going to check out this. I'm going to get this cork out of here maybe. I'm going to look at it first. And, here we go. I don't know. I must have jammed it too hard back in there. I'm going to need a wine. I'm out of here. Check out my grill while I leave.
Shot number 2.
Well, to Zach. He was good. He was a good man.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, I'm back.
Oh, Zach, you're back.
I'm going to use my
Believe
rabbit.
it or not, I'm back. Yeah, I knew you're killing me. I'm going to do this off so it doesn't look like I'm a complete idiot.
I guarantee you knock it over.
Well, it's like already, it was like corked at a restaurant. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I've got to like manually twist in the corkscrew. And I don't really know how to do that with a rabbit.
You're turning, this is sexual, baby. You're turning me on.
Especially because it's off camera and you said rabbit, because I believe there's a vibrator called a rabbit.
You are correct, my friend.
So when you hear vibrating, you'll know exactly what it is. Absolutely.
Well, maybe for his fresh shit, it's the rabbit vibrator.
street.
It's so epic. That new one's so good. The new one's so good.
Well, the mandate was to make it shorter, but it could still be more epic. Tony, you got a fresh hit for us?
I do. So I am a big fan of Guilt. I've pretty much furnished my entire house with Guilt. So if you guys don't have the Guilt app, get it. The only problem is that you got to put all the shit together yourself, and there isn't a good. This is a big beef of mine. There isn't a good like Allen wrench solution. Like I ended up buying the. It's like got a handle on it, and it's kind of a ratchet that you can do. But like you would think that they would put like a drill bit. They would make a drill bit accessory for the Allen wrench to put together furniture in a quick manner.
I do think they make the accessories for it that I feel like
a hand drill.
No, like a power drill. They make the little like
hex bit. Do they? They make ones that slip in. Are you going to slip in? Never mind.
Slip in very, very gently.
So my first shit. So I got this.
Ooh.
And I know that everyone that's watching knows exactly what this is.
Is it for smoking pot?
It's a giant bowl. No, this is a Berghoff stovetop coffee roaster. What? So you put your green bean. I haven't done it yet because I just got it today.
Can I come over and film you the first time you try to use it?
Yeah.
Put them.
Yeah. So I stole green beans from Youngstown Coffee Company, the greatest coffee company in the whole universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I stole some beans from them today, and I was gonna roast my own coffee on my stovetop. So check that out. It's all ceramic and nice.
Ooh.
But it was only $25 on Guilt, and they're like $100 on Berghoff's site. But if you want to roast your own coffee, if you want to spend 3 hours making yourself a cup of coffee in the morning, then I suggest you buy a Berghoff coffee roaster.
Is that like the ultimate hipster?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So my beard grew 3 sizes today just by receiving it.
My question is, when you were talking about it, is this a thing where you could like potentially have green raw beans in your house and take your cup of coffee from raw bean, and you could roast it yourself, grind it yourself, brew it, and I mean, you could. How long would that take?
Well, let me give you a little. I can give you a little coffee 101 if you guys.
All right, tell us why, because I don't know. I know the least about coffee. I know nothing.
So, coffee beans come green, and they're actually not beans, which is like the most common misnomer of. They're actually cherries, and
shut the fuck up. What?
Yeah, it's a cherry with a seed inside of it, and that is the coffee bean. What did you think they grew, like legumes?
I thought they were like cocoa beans. I thought they were like coffee, like they seemed like similar things.
But cocoa beans are the same way. They come in a big pod, and they're like,
which they're related to coffee. Cacao, chocolate, and coffee are all related.
Oh, well, okay. But so you're saying this is a cherry?
I don't know the coffee story. We got to go way back for you. You're like,
oh god, I don't know anything about coffee. I really don't.
Coffee was discovered much like champagne. It was discovered by monks, and it was discovered when monk saw a goat eat a coffee cherry, and then the goat became extremely energetic, and then it pooped out the bean, and then the monk decided that would be a good idea for him to eat. So
I feel like now hold on. I feel like we should team up here. Use my writing skills, my poetry kitten skills, and your storytelling skills, and we should have a little children's book about this story, about the monk, like, and have it like Dr. Seuss style, like weird cartoon, and like you have the little goat, and he's like munching on stuff, and then the goat's just like going fucking crazy, and he's like, I want to go fucking crazy. Let me eat what the goat ate. Anyway, continue with the story. I thought it'd make a cool children's book by Tony Bellotto. The Baby Bellotto books.
Baby Bellotto books. I like this.
That's the amazing. Baby Bellotto readers.
Maybe we'll get 12 people to listen.
raise your children with Tony Bellotto.
Dude, the
Yeah,
Baby
that's a very
Bellotto
bad
reader series. Those we could make little. I'm serious about this. Would be a hilarious brand. The Baby Bellotto book series.
I have some good ideas. I need to come up with some characters. Anyway,
you
can I
could
tell my
we could teach and educate children. They wouldn't grow up like me, not knowledgeable about coffee or tobacco.
Exactly.
We could educate them.
As a child, as happened to me, I was educated about all alcohol, tobacco, firearms, coffee, all the great things at a very young age. I learned to use them all very responsibly. Joe, this is the thing for you. Go to GILT and order yourself a Berghoff coffee roaster. Anyway,
they're not even our sponsor, and you're like pushing them hard.
I know this thing's cool. Plus, you could probably kill somebody with it. Anyway, so a coffee bean is not a bean. It's a seed, and it comes from a cherry.
Okay.
And it comes out basically green. You have to wash it. That's too geeky for you because obviously you don't know what's going on with coffee. So anyway,
no.
The cherry goes away. I can't remember what the name of that. They used to make it's called cascara.
Okay.
That's the cherry. So basically, when you put a green coffee bean into a coffee roaster, what happens is at a certain temperature, the starch starts to convert to sugar, much like brewing a beer or making a wine. And when that happens, the bean cracks. We call that first crack.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I heard that when we were talking with Modern Methods about making the percolator. Luke said he was going to do a first crack roast.
Right. So a coffee bean isn't coffee ready until that first crack. And when you have a big rolling drum, it sounds like popcorn, right? So there's a bunch of popping going on. And then, so anytime between that first Rice Krispie to the second Rice Krispie is your coffee roast. If you go past the second crack, you start to burn the coffee and it becomes charred, right? Okay. So like Starbucks, that's well past second crack. That's why it tastes burnt.
Very bad.
So the whole artistry behind coffee roasting is where you pull the beans out, whether or not it's
getting it between that between first and second crack. Like if you can get a feel for that, like first to second crack, that's where you're like the money is. That's where you get it.
Right. You got to pull your beans out on time.
Yeah.
Do different beans have different like temperatures that they hit first and second crack at?
Yeah, it depends on the size. So like in Nicaragua, for whatever reason, they have like these mutant giant coffee beans. They're like 3 times the size of normal coffee beans. And then there's pea berries, which are really tiny coffee beans. So I'm ready to experiment with my Berghoff coffee roaster. $25, guild.com. That's my fresh shit.
Tony, I kind of like am tempted. You don't have any green beans, do you, at your house right now? Did you say?
I do, yeah. I brought some home today.
I kind of feel like in the after show, you should go to your phone, take your phone into the kitchen, and give us a demonstration in the after show. Do you think you could do that if you're not too fucked up?
I don't know. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah. So get excited, Patron. We're gonna try to see if we do this. For those of you who don't know, we do a about 30-minute after show when we're pretty fucked up, and fucked up shit gets said and happened. It's all off the record, and only our patrons are invited to the after show. So I'll be sending out at about 8:45, 8:50. When we get close to the hour mark, I'll be sending out that link to our patrons so they can come on, and maybe Drunkle Tony, as my kids call him. That's not a joke. My kids call him Drunkle Tony. He will give us maybe a little demonstration. And if you go and sign up for the Patreon right now, you'll be in on it. If you get it in before 8:50, and I send out that link, you will be in. So I have a fresh shit. Since we don't have Jeremy, I have a fresh shit. I'm wearing my fresh shit. I don't know if you can see here. Check this sweet bit of swag out. Where you at, Marxus? Where you at in the chat? I got some swag for you. Woo! You want to invest in a charity? You want to donate some money for struggling immigrants? Well, you can buy. Oh, hey, Jennifer Sims.
All right.
I'll calm down. Bring it down. But this T-shirt right here that I am wearing is from the nonprofit that I am the co-founder and co-editor of. And these T-shirts, we put them on sale last week, and they actually completely funded the startup of our project that will go to support the charity that we are partnered with. And I'm going to just share the screen. I just want to show everybody. This is the charity that we are partnered with, that all of the sales of our T-shirts and stuff are going to. This charity is called Highest. They are a nonprofit legal organization that helps refugees who do not have legal representation to get out of their war-torn countries and come into a better situation. And Highest provides them free legal fees. So you could buy a cool Poetry Kitten T-shirt and support refugees in the process. That's at onlymagazine.com. That's the only place you can get it. Not even at the Four Shots Patreon can you get this shirt. Only.
It's also spelled ONLEY, not.
It is spelled weird. So I'll just throw that up on the screen real quick, and I want to shout out one of our founder Patreon members. Is the first person who subscribed to the Only Magazine, Joe Sharmer. So he knows all about this stuff. But yeah, you can get one of these cool Poetry Kitten T-shirts at that place and support an awesome cause like Highest. They do a cool thing. I really believe in their cause. That's why we're doing this whole thing for them. I don't take any money. I don't take a paycheck. None of the writers that are on our staff get paid for anything. We don't do any ads. So it all comes from the sales of this merch and our magazine. And then we're raising the money. We've raised almost $300 so far. So kudos to everybody who's supported us. Our goal by June is to raise $1,000 to send to Highest. So we're 30% of the way there. I can do some math. So check that out if you want. That is my... Wait, Jennifer Sims, your grandpa used to live in Olney, Illinois? There's a couple different Olneys I found out. But Olney, Illinois is what it's actually named after. But that's another story. Tony, I have something special to show. And then I think we should talk about our new sponsors. But yes, we have a new segment this week. Jeremy can't be here right now because he's had this situation. He couldn't be here, whatever it is. And we have a special segment, though, that he has left us with. Let's check it out.
Hello.
Hi, Wheeze. How old makes someone old?
Well, to be old, you have to be 10.
Wisdom with Wheezy.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
To be 10 is to be old. That's so good.
Just the pure honesty. To be 10.
It's like that, the innocence of a child that quickly goes away, and you start becoming cynical as soon as you, get older. It's so amazing to hear just genuine answers.
I can't wait to see an adult Jeremy spawn. I think it's going to be like the world doesn't know what's coming for the adult Jeremy.
Well, let's do a shot, and then we'll talk about the whiskey that I'm shooting right now.
Sure. I'm going to do, Tito's.
Okay.
Shot number 3.
Man, you're like a DJ with that stop button. That was a nice pause.
I didn't know I could do that. And I just, because you know how many times I've sent it at the wrong time. Let's do the shot.
Okay.
You know how many times I've put the wrong button in? I didn't know I could stop it, but now I do know.
So, in a world exclusive 4 Shots sponsorship, we have the fine folks at Savage & Cook. Now, I really like their whiskeys. I've liked them from the beginning. I reached out to them and I said, hey, we do a show about getting drunk. And they were like, we make stuff that gets you drunk. I was like, you make good stuff. And that's the whole conversation we had. And they were like, well, can I send you free good stuff? And I'm like, yeah, of course you can send me free good stuff. So they did. And what we're drinking now, also, I am passing this on to everyone. So I will be giving a bottle of Savage & Cook whiskey away this month to anyone that shares the stream. You get an entry. Right, and Brandon's going to have to manage all this. So this is another thing he didn't know he was going to have to do until today.
Hey, hooray!
So, nailed it.
Anyone that shares our show gets an entry. So share it 1 million times, you get 1 million entries. If you share the show and you get someone to join our Patreon, you get more entries. We'll give you, I don't know, 20. I think sounds good. 5 sounds good. Brandon's going to figure all this shit out. So anyway. The more you share the show and the more you like the show and the more people you get to sign up for it, to listen to it, it keeps us going. We don't make any, this is another charity case. Trust me.
This is the payment we got. I mean, they gave us some free bottles of whiskey. So we're just, like Tony said, I guess we're giving one away.
So if you guys can, please share the show. It keeps us going. It keeps us alive. It's like I watched this weird movie in Arizona with my girlfriend's parents. It was about Justin Timberlake had a clock on his wrist, and like when
in time,
when the clock ran out. That's kind of like us. So we only have like an hour left. Anyway, so Savage & Cook, check these guys out. We're gonna do a different whiskey each week for a month. This one specifically we're doing is the lip service. The cool thing about these guys. So Dave Finney is in charge of the whiskeys, and Dave Finney owns a wine company called Orange Swift. And
I know that. I've heard that before. I've drank some of that wine.
So he is the creator of the Prisoner wine.
Oh, I love that wine. Shit.
Well, it used to be $20. Now it's like 80, but that's kind of what happens. So anyway, he is now doing this whiskey project, and it's super cool because what they do is they age their whiskeys in wine barrels. So this one specifically is 100% rye. And there he is. Look at that.
There it is. He's on the ball.
For the record, it only cost me $40.
Arizona. What the fuck?
So what's cool about them also is this. They have a glass stopper. You can hear it. But anyway, it's minimum 3 years, new American oak barrels, and then secondarily aged in Grenache barrels. So this specifically is really cool because Dave Finney has got a project in France, and they are Sims-free alcohol. That's the answer to the question. So
Jennifer is technically, you are sponsoring an episode because we are brought to you by our patrons. They're patrons, so you are one of our patrons. You technically are bringing.
I mean, I would also say she kindly shared what she got in Tony's magical shipment. I think that was last week or the week before. And anybody who hasn't subscribed to the Patreon, just go take a look at that picture, and you can see it's well worth it.
I like that Tony's magical shipment. I think that's pretty nice. Anyway, so yes, age your Grenache barrels. Their whiskeys are super cool, and the marketing is very cool. And what we're going to try to do eventually is to gather everyone on Patreon, and we're going to buy our own barrel. So I've talked to people at Savage & Cook, and they're cool with it. We can have our own label, whatever you guys want it to be. So check out the Patreon, and if you guys want your own barrel of whiskey, we got you.
A whole barrel.
Could the label be like you and Jeremy with lip tattoos, pulling them down like that?
Well, funny
because I don't think you know this.
Funny you should say that. Oh,
I didn't know that. So at least we got you. Jeremy, you'll just have to go get one.
Yeah, and he will.
Yeah, right. I bet. I gotta tell you guys, Tony is of course drinking his Tito's,
signature Tito's.
But I am drinking the lip service whiskey. Oh, very nice. This, first of all, it's 45%, which like a lot of the ryes that I buy tend to be about 40. And that's a nice extra little punch, but it doesn't affect, like, the taste is so fucking smooth. It's wildly good. Very, very, very good.
I hope to have. We're trying to get the distiller on, and I think that them and Jeremy are talking, and we're going to get them on the schedule here to talk about the whiskeys. But
maybe I shouldn't be talking about this on the live episode, but is there a way we can like forward a discount to our listeners at all? Like, is there some way that as a sponsor, like we can like say like, because what if like
alcohol laws are weird? Like, I'm not really allowed to give away a bottle, but I'm going to do it anyways because I don't give a fuck.
You mean like how we're not allowed to give away tobacco products through Patreon, but we're doing it?
Yeah. We're not giving anything. We're not giving these tobacco products away. We're, rewarding people that subscribe.
Those are collector's items. You're not supposed to smoke them.
That's swag. That's what that is. This is very, very good. I'm going to stop sharing that screen. But yeah, because I just would love to be able for like Savage and Cook to like know like people who listen to us like went after us talking about it, went and bought a bottle. Like, that their sponsorship is paying off. And I only care about that because I want them to send me another bottle of this. And I saw that they have other stuff. I would like to try that too.
I have it. I'm giving it away.
Our lucky listeners. What's happening? What's happening here? Joe Sharma said you're giving the label away. What?
Yes.
What? Yes.
So he's just giving away a label. That's all he's giving away, not a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
No, he's going to give away a full. All right, I'm confused.
He's going to give away a label. Wink, wink.
This is good.
Oh, God.
There you go. There it is.
Zach, you haven't hung out with me enough to know. Tony knows this. Sometimes the sarcasm goes
fair.
Way over my head.
But if you guys haven't had Savage and Cook and Dave Finney's whiskey, there's 3 different kinds. We're going to talk about a different one next week. But this one, to me, as far as ryes go, like rye is pretty, I like rye, but it's all kind of the same almost, right? But this one has
I agree with that.
This one has a distinct like fruity character to it that is pretty outstanding that I really like. It's like a honey kind of sweet. It's very interesting. I think it'd make a great old fashioned.
Oh, I might have to do that.
There are other ones. I have a different one. I don't have the same one that you guys are drinking today that I got for Christmas, and I made old fashions with it, and it was very good.
Well, they have 3 total. We're going to go. We'll probably catch the one that you got next week or the week after. But, I mean, you can tell it has a winemaker's touch, I think, because it's got real delicate aromas and real delicate flavors. And it's definitely not made. It's made to drink, and I think that's what's cool about it. Because I hate things that are made to like not drink or like put away. And I think it's like $40 or something like that. But I'm pumped on this. I think the marketing's cool. I think the whiskey's cool. Sometimes you get like too markety, and the product isn't that good, but it legitimately is good. And I reached out to them; they didn't reach out to me, so that's how we don't sell out. I asked them if they'd be interested. Yeah.
Well, I said this to Tony before the show that he had given us a link to the sponsor before the deal was done. And like on the site, I was like, why are all these bottles like this weird black glass? And he's like, oh, that's just like the way they do it. And I got to be honest, I was kind of unsure about this design aesthetic. And then when I got the bottle today, well, what was cool is that I went today and I got my COVID shot. Oh, yeah, that's a shot.
One shot. I
got my shot number 1 for COVID. And then I stopped at Havana House to pick up my bottle. And as soon as I like picked it up, it has like a real velvety touch to it. Like it's like soft, like a matte finish on a bottle. It's kind of crazy. And I think the black glass is awesome. It's unlike any other kind of whiskey bottle I've seen.
I agree. And the glass stopper is really cool. Yeah. I actually learned about this when I was in Napa. So ironically enough, this glass stopper is cheaper than cork. So real cork is about $1 per bottle. And these are like 60 cents. And they do a better job of sealing the wine. And if you want to, we're going to do like a wine class on our Patreon. But anyway, to get real geeky real quick. So cork is actually the worst way to store a wine, to have a wine.
Then why do people do it?
Because of tradition and because people like shit that's old, right? So
I love it.
Cork breathes, right? So it's porous. So, and it also, I could go on about this for a while. I'm going to make this short.
Okay.
Good and bad cork, right? The bad part about cork is it breathes. So when you have a wine and you use cork over the course of time, what happens is the wine oxidizes, right? So that, for whatever reason, becomes more appealing to people. I don't know why. I think it's just because they're like, I want a 1971 Cheval Blanc, and they get all fucked up about it. But it's oxidized. It's like when you bite an apple and leave it on your counter, it turns brown. That's what happens to wine. Technically speaking, a Stelvin enclosure or a screw cap or the wine glass golf tee are actually the best methods of keeping your wine exactly how it was intended to be.
What about
I think it's super.
What about like the plasticky corks?
See, those are terrible. Corks? That's why I was going to get nerdy. So
okay, I'm curious now because I was going to ask. You mean the rubbery little corks? The fake?
Yeah, it's
fake
not real cork, but it like looks like cork.
Yeah, that's bad, Tony.
Oh, it's terrible because here's what happens. So with a regular cork, it's natural, right? So it can like move into the grooves of a wine bottle because glass isn't perfectly straight, right? So if you look down at it under a microscope, you see these like little like dips and bends within the neck of the glass. Well, you have to shrink a cork to put it in a bottle, as Zach knows very well as of today. So a real cork is very hard to get out of the bottle because it kind of like expands into those little like imperfections in the glass. It's kind of like when you put Mentos in Coke, right? With a plastic cork, it doesn't fill those voids. So you're going to have corked wine a lot more in the long run because there is a direct pathway for the air to get through the capsule.
Oh, okay.
So,
one of my favorite wines that I haven't seen in a long time is, do you remember that wine brand Sinayan?
Yeah, I love that wine. They lost their distributor in Ohio, and that was like remember I used to like get nerdy about that one. It was like my favorite.
Dude, Tony and I used to sit at Havana House, and they had this one, Abontis or Abonteus or something like that.
Abundante.
What? Abundante, that was it. Yeah. And Tony, and they had the glass stoppers in their wine. They had that one. They partnered with somebody in Cleveland. They did that one Pinot Noir that was like cuts.
Oh, the Greenhouse Tavern that went out of business because of COVID, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Jonathan Sawyer. Yeah.
They did. Yeah, they did like a special like pork pairing wine. They were such a cool wine brand. I really miss Sinean. That was awesome. Little memory lane.
I know, memory lane.
Anyway, let's do a shot.
Yes.
We haven't done to shot number 4 yet. We're at 51 minutes. And then I'm going to send the after show link out. And we're going to talk about something else for the last 10 minutes. So here we go.
Shot number 4.
Cheers.
Cheers. This rye is dangerously drinkable.
Right, is very good, right?
Oh my god, it's spicy and sweet. It's like got a real like soft, creamy, velvety finish, but it is very, very good. What does this say? Tony, in May you will have to intro me to Brando in person. Whoa, wow! I get an introduction in person. Who's this Tommy Klein? He's been all up in our comments today.
You know Tommy. He's actually our broker in the no man's land of the United States. St. Louis, Kansas City, like places no one wants
Nebraska.
To go. Yeah, Nebraska.
This scares me right here.
Oh God.
For those of you listening on the restream, Will Marxis in the chat is saying, Tony, we getting fucked when I come out. Brandon, I'm warming up your ribs. I don't know what that means, but I am scared.
Yeah, as you should be. Do you see, I was just in Arizona. So, and then I shaved afterwards, but I have like this weird, like beard tan going on. Anyway.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted for the last official 10 minutes. For patrons, I'm getting ready to send out. So look at your emails, check your Patreon manager. I'm going to send it out both ways. Look for the link. Well, Tony, tell us what. We didn't have a show last week, so I don't know what we want to talk about with that. But also, you had a trip this week.
Yes. So my grandma died on like Saturday or something, Friday. And then I had the calling hours on Tuesday. And then I went to Arizona Tuesday night, basically Wednesday morning. So crazy couple weeks for everyone. I think everyone's had like in my direct circles had some crazy shit happen within the past 2 weeks. So yeah, that's where I was. What's the question? What are we talking about? My grandma died. That was sad. And then what? Oh, Brandon's gone.
Brandon's gone.
Hey,
hello, Brandon.
Hey, I'm back. What's up? Spectrum Internet sucks balls. That's all I gotta say.
But anyway, yeah. So we've all had these family emergencies.
What did you wait? What did you tell? What did you tell the show? I missed it. What did you say?
My grandma died.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you'd said it. We were not telling it publicly. We were waiting for you to come back, so I didn't know.
Right. But the cool thing about it is, so I was with her like a week before she died, and what's even crazier is like during the service, she was very religious, and the pastor, she's like a non-denominational Christian. So the pastor had like all this stuff that she wanted to be talked about at her funeral. And what's crazy is she had been prepping it for like a year.
Oh, wow.
And none of it was about her.
Oh, wow.
And what's really cool about my grandma, she like wanted everybody, she wasn't like a Jesus presser. She wasn't like you need to have Jesus in your life. She would just tell people randomly in like the grocery line, like Jesus was good for me. Like maybe you should check it out. Like just randomly. I mean, she was never would push people on it. But anyway, she had the whole thing planned out. And basically at the service, we all found out about it, which was really cool because we didn't know.
That's cool.
But either way, her philosophy was like, love everybody. It doesn't fucking matter and life is good. And she told me like a week or so before she died that like she lived her life and it was a good life and she was happy. And I think that's like the key to anything, right? It doesn't matter if you're worth $1 trillion or $100. Like if you lived your life well enough to say on your deathbed, like, I'm good. I lived it. I lived the best life. I have everything I want. You can go out peacefully. Yeah. That was super cool.
That's, Tone, I've known you for a long time, and it's crazy because we've gone back. We've had these kinds of deep conversations at these different like life moments and stuff. And we're all like hustling, trying to like do our different things and whatnot. But like my grandma passed away 2 years ago, and the last time I saw her, it was the same kind of like revelatory moment where I'm just like, man, sometimes we're all moving too fast, and we're all caught up. We're all caught up in all this stuff. We're running podcasts, and we're selling cigars, and we're, doing 100 other things, working our regular jobs and doing different side hustles like door dashing when you're the district attorney, all these different things. But at the end of the day, like if you're not putting your head down at night and you're like, man, I got a shred of peace about my choices, about what I've got really, really got in my life. I mean, none of it's worth shit. None of it means anything.
Right. And at the end of the day, like if you can, like I would have a hard time right now saying like, okay, like I'm good. Right. But she was 90. So she was born in fucking 1931. Could you imagine the shit that she saw, like the advances and like all the crazy shit? And it's like, it's humbling because it's like, okay,
yeah.
It actually gives me like hope, right? Because it's almost where you're so like inside of yourself and you're so tunnel vision into like your vision of what you want that you kind of never stop to see like the peripheral, like the outside of it, until it's too late. But I think my grandmother lived her life that way. She lived her life in that like giving and being cool to others and letting other people know that it's okay to do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't fuck with anybody else. And
did she instill that? Did she instill that in you from an early age? Like that, like, was that always kind of the thing that she kind of instilled in you?
I was going to give a speech, but I was too fucked up to give it at her funeral. Like I had to read the like Walk Through the Valley of the Shadow of Death. And I like, what's fucked up is at the funeral, and I guess I might be just a fucked up person, but at the funeral when I had to give the speech on that, what is that? Like Mark, is that Mark or Luke or something? Whatever, Mark, Luke.
As I walked through that, the Lord's Prayer. Yeah. It's,
Matthew, maybe.
It's in the Gospels, my friend. You got it.
So when I went
Julio
to do
said it as well.
Well, that's what popped in my head, and I was like, and I wanted to like rap it, and I'm like, Grandma would like this shit if I was like, when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, take a look at my eyes and realize what's to the left. Right? I wanted to do it, and it popped in my head, and I wanted to just like Gangsta's Paradise the shit out of my grandma's funeral, but I didn't.
Gangster's Paradise the shit out of my grandmother's funeral.
Yes,
it's amazing.
That's going into the clip. That's going into the clip for the week.
But part of my story, I was gonna say, but I was kind of busted up, which is weird because I don't get busted up. But part of what I was gonna say was, I had an imaginary friend. Okay. When I was
wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, breaking news. I had an imaginary friend. And my imaginary friend, what we would do was like hang out and like climb stuff and like go adventure. But I would like have my grandma like chase my imaginary friend. I'm like, there he goes. He's going. There he goes. Go get him. But she would also like when I would want a hamburger, she would make a hamburger for her imaginary friend, right? But then she would eat the fucking hamburger. So it was like the same with like my imaginary friend all of a sudden wants a chocolate bar. So she had a chocolate bar. Her imaginary friend had a chocolate bar. My imaginary friend had a chocolate bar, and I had a chocolate bar. So she had 3 chocolate bars, and I had 1.
Perfect.
But the thing is, like, what I think is cool. Oh, thanks, Joe. In Psalm 23. But what I think is cool is she like fostered the creativity and like the ability to dream and to be something larger than yourself. And I think that that's a very good message, like globally. Like, it's okay to dream. It's okay to be bigger than yourself. It's okay to have an imagination. It's okay to like just be creative. And that's what I think was really fucking cool, you know. And she was an artist, her grandfather was an artist, and now I'm kind of an artist. Like, I fucked the whole thing up. Like, I fucked the whole chain up. Like, they were like oil paint artists, and there's stuff hanging up in like the museums around town. And I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna put a giant chicken on a fucking cigar pack. But at the same time, my grandmother like fostered that creativity and let me know that it was okay to be fucking crazy and to be creative and to have that wanderlust. And I think that's something we all get away from sometimes, you know.
Well,
and
I think it's gotten away from it so much these days. Like, I hear all these kids, they're starting to plan for their college in like 7th grade. And like, dude, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in 7th grade, I was like running around outside and doing dumb shit. And my parents, encouraged it, kind of like your grandma. And I think we get away from that in the hustle and bustle of side gigs and all that kind of stuff. And we forget, like, sometimes, like, how many times did you use that kind of basis of creativity to come up with, whether it's a stupid lost and found thing? Oh, right. Sorry, you're not the stupid ones. But when it's a cool lost and found logo, how many times? Well, we discussed this when Tony was in town, okay? He comes up with all the good and cool lost and found logos. But anyways, like, how many times?
Someone asked me, like, they're like, where are the shitty art? Where's the shitty like logos from? And I was like, that's Rob. That's not me for sure. And then I was like, I only make yeah.
But I mean, the point is, like, would you have been like able to do that without that basis of like having an imaginary friend, whether your grandma ate 3 chocolate bars or 1, and all it took was that kind of foundation to like, and look how many things you've done, like you have going on between coffee and wine, cigars, and et cetera, there's 5 million more things. So,
but it's not just those things, Zach. Like, if I can say on a personal note that, like, I was at Tony's house for New Year's Eve, and it was the first time I was like with people for like 10 months, and Tony was just in his element. Like, for those of you who have not like spent time with Tony personally, it's so funny because like at an event, he's all business. It's all business, Tony. And then and he'll be fun and have a good time. But like, we were at his house, his new house that you guys have followed the journey of him, like buying this house at the beginning when we started the show. And Tony, that's crazy too, by the way. Like, you could go back and like watch the first episodes. You're like shopping for the house. It wasn't even a deal yet. And like, we've chronicled that journey.
Shitty condo.
and
I remember
you were sitting at the like high table, and then like but like at this party, I said to Tony, like, because I got there late and Tony was already feeling himself, and I was like, dude, you're just in your element right now. And he was like, he just put his hands out and he's like, I got my people here. He's like, oh, I love it. He's like, my house is full. And I'm like, that's like beyond the art of creating cigars and creating wine and all that stuff. Like, at the end, like at the real end of those things, I think the testament of who you are as a person, and like, and not just you as a person, but the us like the Joe Sharmers, Tommy Kleins, the Zacks,
Royal us.
like the royal us, like who we are as people. At the end of the day, is like who are we filling our house with to celebrate and to spend time with, and are there people knocking on the door for us to be there? And I think that kind of shakes down to the stuff that really matters.
Right, and that begs the question, ultimately, what is success? And we were talking about it earlier, I think casually. I don't know who the fuck I was talking about it with, but we were talking about success as what does it actually mean? So you have Jeff Bezos, right? The guy's worth what,
200 billion, I think.
Is that what it is now?
Yeah.
But like, is he happy? So yeah, like money buys a degree of happiness. That's always what they say. Money buys happiness, blah, blah, blah. But it buys a degree of comfortability.
A facet of happiness. Yeah.
It doesn't. It's a tool, in your belt that can make things a little bit easier. But ultimately, like, it has nothing to do with success, and it has nothing to do with how you feel about yourself. Yeah. And I think that's the takeaway from the past 2 weeks is like, excuse me, I'm gonna burp because I'm drinking this Absolute Mango Mule with vodka. But anyway, like, I think ultimately, like, a measure of success is not only like the zeros in your bank account, but it's also the people you can share it with and the people that can come have it with you. And I think that's very important because at the end of the day, like, my grandmother, she passed away with $0. But
how many businesses did she have, Tom?
Well, she had like 10 because her grandson's a fucking psychopath. But ultimately, like, at the end of days, right?
I don't know how many. Who's keeping track? How many times have we collectively said "at the end of the day"? Because we've been saying it. We've been saying it a lot of times.
Probably a lot.
Abe, wait, can we? Abe, he says Abe's hurting, but he tuned in because he loves you. Abe, why are you hurting, bro?
I was in Arizona. He was busy with Matt Booth and his shopping carts.
He was in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, that sucks.
Pretty recently, last year.
Abe, at the end of the day, I know that you were in an accident only for the last 5 seconds, but we're glad you're here with us.
We had Matt Booth this week. That was a successful event, I hope. Yeah. If you guys don't know Embargo Cigar Lounge, check them out.
Oh, broke lots of bones. Abe, that fucking sucks. Bro, I don't even like to hear that. Tone, did we even get into, I know I disappeared for a second again. Did we even get into Arizona and you were there and you saw some people?
I mean, after show, I guess we could talk about it.
Let's talk about that. But let's ask this last question from Jeremy Stark. Did you incorporate Grandma?
Susie Bellato, LLC.
Susie Bellato, LLC. Maybe.
She didn't want incorporated. She wanted excorporated.
Oh, that was a dad joke. That was a dad joke for you.
She wanted. My grandma was the shit. I'm very lucky, but she didn't care about any of it. All she wanted to do was like make people hamburgers with a fucking crispy fried. Like, she would make the buns for the hamburgers like super crispy. That's literally what she cared about. And
that's fucking awesome.
It's like the greatest shit ever.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well,
Grandma was incorporated.
On that note, let's close. Let's do. Listen, we have to do another shot because we've only done 4, and we can never just do 4 shots on 4 shots.
It's never just 4.
Yeah, we've been but I've been sipping on this whiskey the whole time, if I'm being perfectly honest. So let's do shot number 5, and then we'll close out and go to the after show. Here we go.
Shot number 5.
Brandon, your trigger finger's a little bumpy.
Well, I bumped that one on accident. You know, this bottle of whiskey might not live this night. This is fucking good. We're not even getting any kickbacks if you go and buy this whiskey lip service, but I'm telling you it's fucking good. Go buy it because it's awesome. Tony, Brandon, where can we purchase said whiskey? Well, I'm glad you asked, Mr. Stark. I have a link. I'll put it up here because they are our sponsor now. So I don't see a problem in promoting them a little bit more because they did send us free whiskey bottles. You can go to savageandcook.com, and I believe that beyond that, you can find a local retailer distributor through their website and be able to locate where you can buy it at a store near you. That's Savage and Cook with an E at the end .com. Tony, where can people find you on the social media landscape?
Make sure that if you contact Savage and Cook, just be like, hey, like I heard you on 4 Shots.
Shout you out.
Give us some more love. But you can find me social media at Bellato, at Tony Bellato, at 4 Shots. I don't know. You can find me wherever the fuck. I'm all over the place. So find me there.
Zach, you want to shout out your socials? Where can people follow you and all your crazy Arizonian adventures?
All my Arizonian adventures and soon to be Ohio adventures, I might add, coming.
Hell yes.
But you can find me at Z Harpold, just my name, on Instagram.
Nice.
I only have one.
I only have the one. Well, I am on Instagram and Twitter at different things, but the only thing I really care about repping is the charity again, Only Magazine. If you want to check us out at onlymagazine.com, that's my side hustle, but it's a side hustle for charity. So if you want to check out what I'm doing there, that would be cool. And for one last time, we will shout out our Patreon. We want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers. They help us do this cool stuff, helped us get this sponsorship, giving away bottles of whiskey, creating a special cigar, Lost and Found, just for you guys. You can go and be a part of all the cool non-official stuff that's not technically allowed to be done on Patreon, but we're doing it. If you go to patreon.com/4shots for the number and the word shots, sign up today for as low as $5 a month, but we have higher tiers and all of the details are available there. So thank you all for listening. We're here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. live. You can find us on the restreams on iTunes or Google Play, Spotify. Search for 4 Shots with Tony and Jeremy, and you can download all of the back previous episodes that you may want to catch up on. So thank you all, Tony. We're going to the after show.
Later.
Later.
Goodbye.